So I'm here at St Mellion to utilise their range to do a bit of filming today, and I'm doing it with a friend of mine. But I've always been sort of curious about training aids and whether they're actually worth it. Do they actually work? Well, today I've got a training aid that some of you have seen before, or variants of it before. This company's reached out, asked me to do a review on it. They've sent me one. I'm not convinced that these things work, I'll be perfectly honest with you. So it'll be interesting to test this out on the range and just see if it actually does what it says it does, or whether it's all just a bit of marketing hype around this type of product. I need to wrap up a bit warmer because this hat and this top is not going to keep me warm. I need to put on a woolly hat, I need to put on a coat, I need to get on the range, meet Jeb and get this review done, as well as a few other things that are in that box that will be coming pretty soon. So like I said in the car, I'm here at St Mellion, Jeb's behind the counter. I'll introduce you to Jeb on another video because we're going to do some reviews of the Wilson clubs. But I'm going to be reviewing today what is called a Golf Trace strike mat. And it's one of these, and you may have seen these before from companies like AccuStrike. So they're not new to the market, but this one's a little bit different in that it's like, if you've got kids at home, you'll know that they have these like sequins that push back and forth, and if you're anything like me with my daughter, I play with her pillow all the time because it's just sort of relaxing. But the idea of this is that you throw your club on the floor. So as you're coming through with your strike, it will leave a pattern on the mat, and the idea basis is that if you're putting the ball here and your mat strike starts there, you're hitting it heavy. If it starts here, it's a good strike because you always want to hit the ground after the ball, but it also does path. So the idea is if it's going like that, you can see that your path's in to out. Yeah, and if it's that way, it's out to in. Now this is good for people who can't afford £24,000 launch monitors, where all that technical geekery tells you your path, or for someone who just wants a bit of a visual look at what your swing path is. So I'm going to hit a few shots and try and show you. Now I've got a few fundamental flaws that I have with these products, and I'll tell you why and what they are later on. But let's just see how this reacts after I hit a shot. Yeah, I thought you told me Cornwall was sunny.
Never. I
get this in Devon, that's why I've come to Cornwall. So firstly, just a massive thank you to St Mellion and Jeb, who's behind the camera. I will introduce you to him, for allowing me to use St Mellion. There's going to be a lot of stuff me and Jeb are going to do together going forward in and around St Mellion and on his channel, which I will link in description, but you'll see him in another video. Right, back to this. So the idea is now I'm going to hit a shot, and on this mat it's going to show me basically whether I fatted it and the swing path. So watch this, and this will be my first flaw with these products. So first flaw is they move. For me, this would be good if you could put it on grass and you could peg it down. If they put 4 holes in the corner so you could peg it down, that would be beneficial to me, because I don't know what you're like or anything like that, but when you're playing off fairway mats, my first thing, if I can't sort of T-peg it down, is the mat's going to move. And in my swing, I immediately think that this mat's going to move. But you can see here that I hit that pretty well. Ball was there, I've hit the ball, hit the ground after the ball, and it was slightly out to in because it's sort of favouring this side as opposed to what it should be, would have been a bit like that if it was a straighter shot. But the idea is, if you're struggling with swing path, so you're coming like this, you can use this in your garden. You don't need a ball in the way. You can just put the mat down. I'm only using the ball because I'm on a range, and you can practice this and try and get used to the feels to be able to go from an in to out or an out to in and vice versa. So I will try now hit a big in to out shot. And for me as a fader, I felt like I went straight out, but you can see I fatted the living tits off it, but it's pretty straight. So that was a feel that I felt I was going like that, but actually I went pretty straight. So these do have benefits to some extent. If you just want to sit in your garden and practice your swing, you try and get those feels of how you want to, if you want to fade the ball, trying to get that sort of out to in swing or vice versa. Didn't it? And if you thin it, it leaves absolutely no mark whatsoever. But the idea is, it just gets you used to trying to hit the ground after the ball and also on your swing path. So that would have been a pretty good shot. Ground after the ball and pretty straight. So you can see how that works, and then you just have to put the sequence back and you're ready to go again. But as a product, it's okay in the respect of it's not £24,000. There's a link in the description that will give you 25% off it, because I told them if I'm going to review it, I want to give guys something back to you guys, so I want a discount. So if you want to try a product like this, they are cheap enough to give it a go, and they are good enough to give you that visual aspect of the swing change, or whether you're fatting it or thinning it, just without having to have a ball there so you can practice in your garden. But my biggest flaw with all of these, including the AccuStrike, including everything, what is that, Jeb?
It's about 2 inches thick, I would say, inch and a half.
It's about an inch thick. So if you've got this on a level mat, and this is why I don't like lie boards, Jed, when I was fitting, because they lie. Because
it's in the name.
Because what happens with a lie board is, as the club comes down and hits the lie board, it bounces down and the ball's in mid-air for a split second as you hit it, so you always hit it high in the face. So they lie. But because it's so high up off the ground, I think the tendency would be to fat it on this. So I'm already feeling like I need to choke down on it. So if I go full grip on this, I probably will fat this now. I should take a break more, I think. No, I hit it actually quite well. But this is, I know my swing path is out to win. I'm trying to hit fades. I've hit the ball pretty well there, hit it after it. So from a feedback point of view, for me as an ex-professional, now amateur, come the 1st of February, this gives me what I need to know, that my swing is definitely out to win, without the need to go to a coach, without the need for a launch monitor, without the need for expensive gadgets. For something that is as cheap as this is, I've automatically got that feedback, and now if I want to change my swing path, I can use this to do it. So all in all, what do I think? Would I buy one? Potentially, yeah, purely just for that visual aspect of it, and for how for the value it is compared to those expensive sort of launch mats and stuff. I would potentially buy one just to give me that. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I suppose I would, but you've got to take from it what it is. It's not the greatest training aid out of all the golf training aids, but it is a nice visual aspect and a nice visual aid to how you're swinging, what your swing path is, whether you're fatting or thinning it. I just think that if they could put 4 holes in this, so you can actually tee it down maybe on the grass, not particularly on a range, but if you're going to practice in your garden, you're not going to want to keep going and picking this up. And if they could potentially make it a bit thinner, I know why it's thick, it's the durability, but most of that is this cushioning on the bottom. I just think that it's just a little bit too thick, and it's a problem I've got with all of them. But it is what it is, it costs what it costs, and it's not an expensive training aid. If you like that review, please do subscribe to the channel. Also, check out Jeb. I know you've not met him yet, but you will on another channel. Just check his channel out anyway by clicking the link down in the description. He's a good lad, really good friend of mine, who's one of the pros here at St Melian, so would love for you to just pop across and subscribe to him. And I said, if you do want one of these, there is a link in the description. I have managed to get 25% off it for you guys, so please just give it a go, and if you do get one, please feed back to me what you think about it. For me, it's useful. Let's just leave it at that.